Hi, I'm Matt Little. I'm the Director of Counselling and Education at Empowering Awareness.Asia, and I'm a proud sponsor of this podcast.
Hi, Bilal.
Hi, how are you doing?
I'm doing great. How you doing?
Yeah, doing amazing. Beautiful day today.
Firstly, thank you very much for accepting my invitation and accepting to be on my show.
Yeah, you're welcome. Sounds good. It sounds like a good show, so I couldn't refuse.
So I've gone through a profile. I can see you're the owner of Fame, and uh, I just wanted to tell about your work and your project to my audience.
Awesome. Yeah, thank you.
So, so can you please introduce yourself to my audience?
Yeah, sure. So I'm Bilal, 44 years old. I'm French. I live in France. I've been a philosophy teacher for 14 years, and I was interested by blockchain and how it can change the world and change things and fight inequality. So I started my project. It's called FAME, for Food Autonomy and Mutual Empowerment. And I'm also the Commissioner for Food Security at one of the UN agencies called IEMO. So we work with the FAO, so to fight food insecurity and to prevent food insecurity. And FAME and IEMO are linked because we do that at a global scale to try to bring a free marketplace for farmers and to try to empower local communities with local, organic, and ethical food.
So, what is Fame and how does it work?
So Flame is a mobile app anyone can download as a consumer or as a producer. So basically, anyone in the world today can just jump on Fame, get the app to connect to their local farmers. For example, you probably have some local producers around you. So if you download the Fame app, you can see them, talk to them, buy your product directly from them, and recreate this bond between you and your food and the people who produce it. For example, do you know where your last meal came from? Like who produced it?
No.
You should know. Maybe you can. Now with Fame, you can. So you just eat the food that you know where it comes from. You can find the producer. You can get this connection that we all lost. Like no one knows today. Like we eat food, we have no idea where it comes from. We have no idea how it was produced. Like we get poisoned sometimes. We have no idea why and how. So now bringing food transparency is the first step to have a healthier life for ourselves, for our children in the future, and also to empower the local farmers, especially in India. I think there is a lot of protests in India. I know there are a lot of protests in India for farmers because they don't get a fair share from all their work. Those are the strongest workers in the world are farmers, in my opinion, and they get paid sometimes less than 1% on the profit that is made on their food. So that's where the inequality can be reduced. We can empower them, reduce inequality, improve food transparency, have clean, good, ethical food for everyone, and having strong farmers is also a way to have better food for all of us. So maybe next time
So,
you will know where your food comes from, you know?
so where this idea came from? Is this from the experience of yours?
Yeah, fame, the idea comes from first financial inclusion. Like I realized studying philosophy and teaching philosophy for years that inequality comes from the inaccessibility of capital. So how can we get people have access to capital, have access to loans, have access to payments, have access to a good currency? Because most humans have to endure inflated or hyperinflated currencies. In Africa, that's most of the case. Inflation goes up and you don't realize that your purchasing power is going down. So when I realized that, I said, we need to find a solution to get the dollar, the euro, Bitcoin, for example, to the users, to the people. So we need to make it simple. So the whole idea of fame started with this idea of financial inclusion and who are the most excluded workers in the world, they are farmers. There are around 1.7 billion people who are unbanked, and you have around 700 million people who are farmers. So the unbanked farmers are the majority of the workers today. And if we can get them into a very easy to use app that give them access to the dollar, the euro, so we use USDC, euro we use EURD, and Bitcoin we use GoBTC. They have access to euro, Bitcoin, the strongest currencies. They can get paid and they can open a savings account on the blockchain. They can get paid for their product by anyone, and they can, make money and also provide this food transparency for their local community.
So how it reached to other countries?
Sorry?
How it reached to other countries?
How to reach other countries?
No. The fame is made in France, but
Yeah.
reached other countries. So how?
So the good thing about blockchain and mobile app is that it's instantly global. Like the solution is immediately global. We launched on all countries over the world. We are only restricted in China because trading crypto is forbidden in China. But all the other countries around the world, they have access to Fame app. And the payment as well. Usually you need to scale up country by country. You need to target country by country. But with DeFi, with decentralized finance, with the decentralized wallet that we have on Fame, we built our own decentralized wallet. We don't need that. Anyone in the world has a wallet. You can activate it in one click and you can get paid in dollars, euro, and Bitcoin instantly. So there is no need to be connected to a bank because we want to bank the unbanked. That's the goal. So we think we are doing that right now already because they all have access to strong payments. And no matter the country where you live, we want to reach every country. I'm even trying to reach some people in Cuba at the moment. We want to go everywhere, and we want everyone to be able to get paid fairly for his work, especially the farmers.
So how many users you have?
So now we have around 4,000 users, but it depends how you define users because, to be honest, many left. Like we had 4,000 subscribers and some just uninstalled the app. But we have 1,000 active wallets around the world, with the majority in Nigeria, India, number two is India, then the US and Europe.
So you are also a food commissioner. So tell me more about that.
Sorry, can you say that again?
You said you also work for food security. So
Oh, yes.
Can you tell about that?
So IEMO, International Emergency Management Organization, is a UN organization for the prevention of emergencies, human-made catastrophes, like famines. So IEMO is dedicated to produce high proteinic plants for people, and we create powders out of it to fight famine, because in an emergency situation, we need high proteinic food. So the idea and the project, we are based in Africa, in Mauritania. That's where the headquarters is. And we have around 60 countries, signatories. And the idea is to try to collaborate with local producers to educate them about the best product to grow when there is a time of crisis. And we are sponsored by some government, and we can deploy different projects in different countries. Now we are focused on East Africa, and we want to deploy to other countries, but the difficulty is always funding, because it's difficult to get governments to pay, private companies to pay, but we are always looking up for funds to try to be more effective on the ground, to reduce food insecurity.
So tell me about your technical team for Fame.
So we started in 2021. So I went to Nigeria because that's where the first farmers I talked to were from. So I worked with farmers at the beginning, and I visited universities, Lagos, Abuja, and that's where I started to have some interviews with developers there. because I wanted, at the beginning, we just wanted to focus on Nigeria because it's the biggest market in the world. It's 250 million people who are already connected to crypto, who know about crypto. So I thought to myself, let's employ people from the ground, from Nigeria, to help Nigerian farmers. So my team is the same. I met with my developers in 2021. And since then, we've been working together from the start. We have 3 developers, full-time developers. Now they have a Master of Computer Science, and they have been dedicated to FAME since then. And I want to grow with them. We also have a very important advisor in terms of blockchain, working at the foundation, Algorand Foundation. It's the blockchain that we have built our solution on top of. Stefan Barroso, who is working for Algorand Foundation, working for the consensus and different protocols that the blockchain has to use. And he has worked for security, army, banks, and other. He has huge credentials to make sure our solution is safe, solid, and people can trust it. Yeah.
So what are the advantages of fame, actually?
So fame is mainly, the main goal is to bank the unbanked farmers. Today, a farmer, to get access to money, they have to sell food to get cash. But if they are in rural areas, it's difficult. They have to go to the road to start to sell their food. And even I was in India last year. You can see that even in India, farmers go to the road to try to sell their goods to get some cash because there is no ATM, there is no bank, there is nothing. The idea of fame is to empower those farmers with a simple mobile app. Mobile apps now are cheaper or accessible. We just need a basic mobile app to run fame. And now they can get paid, and they can receive even donations around the world. Like, it's 2 seconds to get a transaction. They can receive donations and they can get paid directly in USDC, for mainly USDC and Bitcoin sometimes. So the Indian crypto community can empower their local farmers instead of trading, and they can pay their farmers with crypto, and that gives them access to an easier money to manage, so they can do much more with USDC than they can do with the rupee in paper form.
Which means you are creating a platform where the consumers and actually the producer can able to interact and can get the production
Exactly.
from each other directly.
Exactly, that's the goal. We don't need long supply chains. We need the consumers and the producers to join forces. The consumers to eat local food for carbon emission, to reduce carbon emission, to also know the producer. He can check the farm himself. And the producer can sell at a higher price to the consumer because there is no middleman taking the majority of the money. Because what happens, like, your local farmer is probably selling to a wholesaler at a very low price, and the wholesaler is selling to the supermarket at a very low price, and the supermarket is selling it to you at a high price. So we don't need those guys. We just need to join forces between producers and consumers. And if you have crypto, you can buy food from them directly. And now we are working on a Visa card across the world for all those farmers. So they won't need a bank ever. We don't need banks anymore. So you will pay your food, he will get USDC, and he will be able to use his USDC with his Visa card, and he can literally buy stuff wherever he wants and buy other products for his family.
So usually users are family people, but they buy in a limited quantity. But when they are using this app, they have to buy it in a larger quantity. So how does this work when there is no supply chain?
Yeah, that's a good question. So there are 2 things. Like, my first goal, the number 1 mission, is local production, local consumption. Like, local, super local. That's why the app has to be global, so anyone can empower his local farmer. That's the first mission. The second mission is to help farmers to come together to be able to export globally, to have international trades. So on the Fame app, when a farmer creates a post, he can choose to create a post as a local post, local for the local market, or international market. For international market, it's bigger quantities, and the supply chain, for now, we cannot manage it for them. And it's always, the supply chain is always part of the negotiation. Who pays the logistics? Where is the good going to arrive? And there is always a huge negotiation. That's why we want the two parties to discuss that on a private chat. So when you click buy, you go actually on a chat and you have the negotiation. Then when you agree on the supply chain, on the logistic companies you choose, on the cost, you can send the payment and send the goods and send the payments. But for now, we don't manage the supply chain, but we encourage people, like especially European wholesalers, to buy from Africa, from Nigeria, from Kenya, from Tanzania, and eventually from India. And that would be good. But we are working on a supply chain solution, but it's not live yet. But maybe next year we will have our first totally traceable supply chain from India to France, for example.
So how you're marketing this? How you're telling the farmers that this will be helpful for you and this makes you to get money directly from the users?
Yeah, that's a good question. We haven't started marketing. For now, it's just word of mouth. I haven't paid any ad, nothing. I just share on my Twitter, on my LinkedIn a little bit. Even that I don't do much because I was really focused until now on the product fit, like product market fit, to make sure it helps farmers and it's a real solution to a real problem. But this year we will start doing the marketing. We will have different things going on, like ads, but also podcast and more interviews like this one. And this year we'll start marketing it. Yeah.
And how you're educating them?
That's a really good question. Actually, it's one of the most important. A digital solution alone is useless. You need to be on the ground. So what we have with Fame is the money we get from investors or even from the users. We invest in what we call Fame Hubs. Fame Hubs is like literally, we rent a farm in a country. Let's say now we're renting a farm in Kenya or in Nigeria. We have our farm. And we have one event per month, and we have education going on the farm. So we bring the farmers of the community every month. They all come together, and we educate about digitalization of agriculture, finance, how to get paid, how to use the money, what to do with it, how to organize the farm, and training, agriculture training, innovation in training, vertical farming, carbon farming, how to improve the efficiency of the crops, how to use fertilizers, how to use herbicides, how to find better seeds and stuff like that. And we believe in this Fame Hub, we have a real structure that welcomes all the farmers around. We teach them how to use Fame. We teach them how to get the card, the payment card. And when they know how to use Fame, have the payment card, they learn about agriculture, they can get stronger together, and eventually they can export from this Fame Hub. So my dream is to have export going on from these Fame Hubs to Europe, to the US, to different countries, so we can eat ethical, organic, high quality food. And we know the producers because we can find them on Fame. So Fame is a social marketplace, so it's also social. We have chat, we have group chat, we have the payments, of course, we have the swap, we have many functions, and AI as well. We also provide education via AI. So if you download the Fame app, you can go to the chat and find your Fame companion. We use Meta Llama 3.2. You can ask any question. You have the complete answer. And you also can produce pictures for your marketing. So if you sell tomatoes, if you don't have a camera to take a good picture, you can generate a picture of tomatoes to promote your tomatoes and to try to give yourself more tools. So we try to bring all the tools in one app in the Fame app.
You're trying to put fame for a bigger geographical location or area. So, do you think the logistics are same in all the countries?
Yeah, fame is global from day one. It has always been global. We started with Nigeria and then we just added all countries in the world. So we have users now everywhere. We translated the app in 7 languages. It's available in Russian, in Swahili, in Spanish, Portuguese, like many languages, French, English, like 7 languages, and we're going to expand. We want the app to be available to anyone in the world. But sorry, I didn't get the last part of your question.
The logistics, the way the production and the consumption is, happening in different countries. Do you think
Oh,
it's same?
no, like every country is different. That's why on the Fame Hubs, every Fame Hub is led by a local ambassador who is from the region, who is the local producer. Like we cannot teach any farmer how to grow his crop in the world because every region is very unique and we cannot reproduce the same climate, like even water accessibility, like everything is unique to the local community. That's why we rely on the Fame Hubs. We need a local farm to know. We need a local farmer to know what he's talking about. We cannot bring an expert from another region. We really want to focus on local. And those Fame Hubs can also be a place where consumers can come and buy from local producers as well. That's what happened in France. Like I'm not creating a new model totally because France has a model called AMAP. It's an organization to support local farmers, organic farmers. And every week, I am part of one here in France. Every week I go to my farmers meeting and I buy food directly from them. It's cheaper, high quality. I know exactly what I'm eating. I know how to produce the food. I know who and how. And we are friends now. We create a bond and we are happy to meet each other every week instead of going to the open market and we still don't know him. We have 2 hours together to talk about anything, and each department in France has those kind of groups, and that's the kind of model I want to export to the rest of the world because I think we should be closer to our local producers because those are the ones suffering from debts. They have to invest, and supermarkets, they take the product and they pay them 6 months later, and everybody exploits them. And we can support them, and we don't need supermarkets. We can just buy from local producers.
So how can consumers can understand that the production, that is happening and coming directly from the farmers is actually is a good quality?
I think, for example, what I do, I buy my food from a farm that's just here. I go there. I take my car, I go there, I pick my fruits myself, I pick my goods, I check it myself, I ask questions about what kind of product do you put on top, do you use this kind of chemicals or not. I think you just need to have a direct connections. So on Fame, the good thing is that every farmer has fame, has like celebrity because he goes into a social platform. But this fame is also responsibility because if he mess up with his food, with his production, the people can write reviews on his profile to critique his production. If I get poisoned, I can write it on the Fame app. Like this farmer poisoned me with this kind of rice that he's producing, and so the idea is to get responsibility back to the farmers. Because what people don't know is that most of the food we eat is sold by cooperatives who have large quantities of rice, for example, or wheat. But what they do, the bad farmers with bad product, like highly chemical, not fit for human food, they can mix their wheat with healthy meat. So the degree of dangerosity of the food decreases. So we eat mixed up wheat from different farmers with different practices, like A grade level with D grade level, and this is how transparency is lost, because when you buy from large quantity, you lose the transparency. So my idea is to get back to the root of it. Like we just go to the farm, we know the farmer, we follow him on Fame, we ask him questions, he's responsible, and we meet him in person in one of the Fame hub, and we buy directly from him. And if he mess up, he don't want to mess up because he doesn't want to lose his local community of consumers, because they pay up at a much higher price than the consumers that he sells to through the supply chain. So he has no interest into scamming the local consumers. It's a big risk for him.
So, as a founder, as a CEO, do you directly interact with each farmer that are connected with Fame?
I wish I could, but yeah, on Fame, I talk to many farmers via the chat. My DMs are always open. Anyone can get in touch with me, and I talk to. Every time I see a post, like a new producer posting, I say, hi, how are you doing? And we can have a conversation, and we jump into a meeting. For example, now I had like a producer from Italy, a new producer from Italy that I don't know. So I send a hi, welcome message. And if you want to jump on a call, maybe I can facilitate a trade or do something, because my partner also is a trader. So we work together. So if we can buy large quantities of this high quality product and sell it in the European market, we would do so.
Since you are working also in food security, looking at the producers and the production of different foods from different places. So, how does it feels to you? Because you might be seeing the food that you have never seen before.
Yeah, for as a commissioner for food security, we really focus on spirulina. You know spirulina, moringa and spirulina. It's a kind of algae that produces a lot of protein because it's really to fight hunger. It's not like it's not like for cuisine. You know, it's really to fight hunger. So there is no diversity. It's always the same. It's just like to prevent a famine. So it's not about luxury food and taste. It's not about the flavor. It's more about the efficiency and to save someone's lives and kids' lives. So there is no diversity. But from the Fame app, I see a lot of products that I've never met, I've never seen, I've never tried. So it's interesting. It's also a way to travel. You know, through the post you see food that you would never expect, you know, like from Nigeria, from Kenya, from Japan, from the US as well, like some things I've never seen. So it's cool to travel through the app, and sometimes I navigate the map, I check the map, and I go to this country, I check the products there. It's also fun. Yeah, it's diverse. People eat. Last time I saw someone eating bees, like frying food with bees. I said, oh wow, that's unique.
So, a farmer from France can able to sell his production to India with this thing.
It would be difficult because the prices, from what I see, it's usually Europe buying from India rather than India buying from Europe. But it depends. Sometimes large producers in France are so efficient with their machines, they can produce at a much lower price than in India. So it's possible. I haven't seen it, but it's possible that, for example, potatoes, French and Belgian producers are so efficient today that they can produce potato at a much cheaper price than in India or Africa. So it's possible that Indians could buy French potatoes for a cheaper price than the cost of production in India. So this is possible, but I haven't seen it yet. But we have some cases within Europe where potatoes are produced in Belgium and sold in a country, in a smaller country in Europe. It's possible.
So, what kind of food that are exported from India, through Fame?
I've seen some different products from India, but I don't know if, I don't follow each trade. Like, I cannot follow each trade. I just see some posts, but then it's all private because the buyer and the seller don't want this conversation to be public. It's in our encrypted chat. So the chat is fully encrypted end to end. We don't know what they're saying. We just know that at one point there is a payment, but the payment can happen on Fame with USDC, but it can also happen via their own bank if they want to pay traditionally. So I'm not aware of every trade. I cannot follow every trade. All that I can see is the post like anyone, but then it's all private. It's private businesses doing business, so we cannot know. But there's a lot of demand of Indian food, Indian production in France and in Europe. Mostly peanuts. It's a huge business. Like nuts in general is a huge business. India has very high quality and very large quantities. So there is a huge opportunities for peanut producers in Europe via Fame. They can post their nuts, and we have buyers. We are personally connected to buyers, and we are always looking for the best quality and best prices of nuts. And India is a huge place for that. Of course, you have Indian spices. That's also a good idea. But yeah, India and France actually have signed new deals. The French president went to India, and there are more and more partnership between France and India. And I am actually part of the Chamber of Commerce, France-India, because that's one of the biggest countries in the world. India is a huge opportunity for all kind of businesses, and they can be the basket of the world if they continue to progress and to increase their production and the quality of their goods.
Okay, where do you find the large number of farmers?
So farmers, like humans are farmers. Like we forget about it because we are on internet watching YouTube videos, but humans are farmers. Like most humans are farmers. Like for example, I'm sure 70% of the people in India have a farmer in their family. It is 80% in Nigeria. In many countries, most people are farmers. We have farmers in our family. Just in like developed country like US, Europe, they gave up on farming because machines took over. So grandparents gave up their farms and parents giving up their farms. But in the rest of the world, it's still the number one activity. So it's I don't personally go after farmers. I just try to get them as users on the Fame app, and then I can talk to them. And but yeah, I'm connected to local farmers. Yeah, if that's your question, I meet local farmers all the time. And when I travel, I try to talk to farmers that we have and how they produce, and also collaborators who produce for us and we sell for them, stuff like that. Yeah.
So what is the feedback that you're getting from users?
So the feedback, what I do since 2021, what we used to have one meeting per week with a group of farmers, and we developed the app based on their feedback. So they made the app evolve. At the beginning, it was just a basic marketplace, and then they wanted to access the dollar. They wanted to access the euro. And recently, they asked for BTC, Bitcoin. So we added Bitcoin recently. And the feedback is more technical, like how they want their invoices. Now we're working on invoices. We're working on the quotes, the receipts for each trade. We are just usually the feedback is super precise. Like I want this. I want, for example, I want this and that. So, and they know they can reach out to me directly on the Fame app, send me what they want, and I will think about it and talk about it with my devs, and we're gonna implement it within 1 month or two. Depends on the complexity. So I'm just listening. I'm always on the Fame app listening to the feedback and trying to implement what I can implement. And yeah, but not everybody shares so much. Like farmers, most of the users don't share so much. Just a few of them give me like feedback, not all of them.
So how you made this real-time problem into a digital solution?
How did I find a solution to this problem? Yeah,
The problem which is in real, not in virtual.
which is real. Yeah, the real problem is there are many problems, but the real problem is financial exclusion. Farmers are usually stuck in one currency that is devaluated every month, every year. I don't know are you aware of the inflation of the rupee in India?
No,
Do you know what is the inflation rate? No?
no, I'm not aware.
Yeah. But I wouldn't be surprised it's high, but I need to check. But first of all, the real problem is inflation around the world, even in the US, in Europe. Because inflation, like you keep getting paid $1,000 or whatever, or $2,000, but the purchasing power goes down every year. And in other countries, it's way worse than the dollar and the euro. The euro is pretty stable compared to them because, for example, in Ghana, it's 30% inflation. So every year you lose 30% of your purchasing power. So for you living in Ghana, for example, it's urgent to get access to another currency, to the euro, the dollar, or Bitcoin, or gold. And that's the first big problem, because with inflation, governments control the population because they force them to work more for less every year, simply by printing money. Every year they print billions of currencies that forces the people to work twice as hard for the same purchasing power. So the money is a control system. Like monies are the best tool to control masses. You control masses with money. When you are the government, you print money, you create inflation, and you force the population to be active and to work as much as they can. But it's not fair for the people who are the poorest producers in the world, the poorest farmers. They just work more and they produce the same tomato, but the same tomato is worth less every year. So for them to get paid in another currency or to swap from their money to a solid currency protects their livelihood and protects their savings. That's the biggest problem. That's why I created Fame, to help the people have access to better currencies and then to be able to swap from euro to dollar depending on the market, and to go to BTC if they want to, and to promote their product for free, because most of the farmers are invisible. No one knows them. No one knows what they're doing. And we need to bring them more visibility. So society needs to be more aware of who produces the food to protect them. So I think it's a mission that is also ethical. Like we need to bring back some equality, some equity, some fairness to the world. This is unfair. Those are feeding the whole planet and everybody's treating them like slaves, and no one cares about them. Even though they are the one who empower the local community because they employ local kids, local workers, local families in their farms. So when you empower a farmer, you empower a whole community, and everybody's better because the wealth creation can grow from the bottom up, and we don't have to wait from the top down, from the governments or big institution or big organization to pay us more. We can create our own wealth, and farmers are very good at that. They have been very good at that since humanity became farmers. So I think that's how we can solve global inequality.
So as a founder, CEO, and also as a leader, how you are able to make Fame as user friendly?
Yeah, this is difficult to be honest because at the beginning we had a designer, like product designer, and we are not like super well funded. We don't have millions of dollars to work with. So I am basically the product designer. So I do my best by listening to the users, asking advices from different product designers I know. But we always iterate. The best way is to iterate. We change the app 32 times. So we have 32 updates with a few tweaks, and we change. And it's the third app actually, because the first app was really basic. Second one was a bit better. The third one is this one is way better. And we are getting ready for the fourth one because we want to scale up, and we are building a more robust for millions of users. If we are lucky, if we are successful, we can onboard millions of users. So we are building a scalable app, number 4. But it's always a work of progress, iteration, asking to people, trying ourselves. I'm always trying the Fame app. I've tried every functionalities, doing quality controls, and removing. The key is to remove anything you can remove. Any step you can remove, you remove it. To keep the very basic steps like direct, remove extra steps from the app. As many extra steps as possible we can remove. That's why we put the payment in the chat. Because if I want to pay you in crypto, you need to send me your public key, and then I receive your public key, and then I copy paste it. I passed it onto my app, and then I send you this amount, etc. But on Fame, it's on the chat. We discuss on the Fame app. We agree on a deal, and I send you the payment in one click. I choose the currency, I put the amount, and I send it. Like there is no need for public key or scanning the QR code or taking a bank card or sending a check or sending a wire. So removing steps is always good.
And how it is working in different platforms? Is it only on iPhone or Android phones? Or you are
Yeah,
into web application as well, or you are into other platforms as well?
yeah, we are on iPhone. We are on Apple, like the App Store. We are on Android. That's already the majority of users of mobile phone in the world. So we are there. Even though sometimes with Apple we had some friction, like they didn't want, for example, the swap. They told us you have the swap, DeFi. We're not sure about that. We cannot publish it, but so I had to ask some lawyers to help me to get it fixed. And now we are on Apple. Android is a bit easier. We also have the APK, like people can download the APK for those who knows what it is, to install it on their phone directly, natively. And we are building now a desktop version for professional, because big traders, they need a desktop app or browser app. So they can, we are building that at the moment. So every company can have their team, and they can work as a team under one account for a company account, and they can do many trades via the desktop. So that's one of the development of 2025, to have a browser desktop app to be used by corporations and big wholesalers who have a team to work for them.
So not every country farmers are technology minded, or have knowledge how to use technology tools or technology applications. So how to reach them, as a technical product owner?
Yeah, it's always a challenge. I think the Fame Hub is the solution, in my opinion. We need to have always two strategies: the digital strategies and the grassroots strategy. So we need to make them work together. For example, we don't have a Fame Hub in India, but if I find a producer, a food producer, like a farmer, who knows about Web3 a little bit, who understands Web3, who understands a little bit finance, who is a good farmer, who has a community behind him, I might ask him if he wants to become a Fame ambassador, to lead a Fame Hub. So I would help him with his farm, like we would pay for part of his rent in his farm, or rent his farm maybe sometimes. And he will have this event, and he will train the people himself. So I will train him, we will train him, and then he will train the people himself, how to use Fame, how to get this payment card, and how to improve their livelihood. So we always need someone on the ground, like especially in rural areas. Like in rural areas, it's not like in cities. You cannot reach the people easily, so you need someone on the ground that knows the community, that knows agriculture, that knows the climate, that knows the problem of the people, so we have feedback. Because if this local ambassador tells me this is what you need to change to have a better app for the people. Then I can take this on board because he's a local farmer. He knows the people. He knows the use cases, or even the language. Sometimes he can help me translate stuff like that. And we work with local people.
So what kind of responsibility does Fame take if something goes wrong for consumer or for producer?
So Fame has many disclaimers because we never manage the funds, and we don't want to. That's why blockchain is important. The wallet is decentralized. We are never in control of the funds of the user. Every user has access to his passphrase. And we have, when you create a wallet, we have the disclaimer. And we clearly say that you are in full control of your fund. Even if the Fame app disappears completely, with the passphrase, you can recover your fund from another wallet on Algorand or other wallet, like, for example, Pera wallet on Algorand. You can just type in your passphrase and you have your funds there. So we don't want to be in charge of anything, like the funds. We don't want to be in charge, or even the logistic, the question you asked before. We don't want to do that because you need a huge insurance, especially if you have many trains going at the same time, to be able to do whatever you want, even the small thing for logistics. It's a huge responsibility. Usually logistic companies, they have insurances for billions of dollars and they have to pay goods every month. They have to pay millions of dollars of goods that are not, the quality controls are not there, like some problems in the supply chain. So Fame, we are just, we connect B2B companies, like we connect platforms, companies together. We get this relation within the Fame app. We give them the tool to talk. We give them the tools to pay each other, but we don't want to have anything to do with the trade they're doing. It's their responsibility. It's not us to be like a third party, like a third trusted party. We are not a third trusted party. We are just putting the people together, the producer, the consumer, the trader between themselves, provide the payment solution, and that's it.
What excites you and what makes you to wake up in the morning every day and go and do work for Fame?
For me, I'm super excited every time we have a new farmer, every time a farmer can gain visibility. Every time a farmer creates a wallet, he has access to financial inclusion, he has access to the best DeFi tools, he has access to staking, like he has access to what banks couldn't offer for centuries. We are offering it every day. So that's exciting because big multi-billion banks failed to serve the people around the world, especially in rural areas, and we are doing it. And that's exciting. And there is 800 million people waiting for that as well. There is 800 million people waiting for the same solution. And I'm excited every time one of them joined us, but the potential is also exciting. Like we can literally change the world. And if I quit my philosophy teaching job, it was to do something meaningful, not to just make money, but to make a difference. So, and to have something that lives beyond my life, like something that can have a huge impact beyond my own life and to make a difference. I think we can make this difference. I think we can bank the majority of the unbanked farmers today with a simple app like this and the proper education on the ground with the Fame hubs. I think we can do that.
So, as a philosophy teacher, how that role or that job or that knowledge is helping you today to be the technology product owner for the farmers?
Yeah, that's a really good question. Usually people don't see the link, but I think philosophy, I've been, since 2000, I started studying philosophy at Sorbonne in 2000, and I've been teaching it until 2021, so 20 years of philosophy. And it's metaphysics and science, etc., but it's also ethics, like what is good. what do we call good? What is good? What is evil? What is bad? How do you define that? What are your criteria? And the search for meaning, like what is the meaning of our life? What is the meaning of humanity as a whole? What is the meaning of life? And I think clarity is the best one for me. Like I gained clarity over 20 years on what should be done, what should I do, and why. So the mission and the values we have. So Fame is a project, is a startup with strong values. Like we really think we can change the world from the bottom up by talking to the people, by using technology and business instead of waiting for politicians and big corporations to help us. Like they are not here to do that. They are not here to help us. I don't rely on them. I rely on myself. We rely on ourselves. I rely on farmers. Farmers rely on the land. So those kind of values, I think, they come from philosophy, from reading all the philosophers since antiquity to today, how they had this rebellious spirit to rebel and to take the matters on their own hands and to not wait for anyone to help them, but to start changing things at the local level and to scale up slowly with your local community to change things. It's like even in your neighborhood, I'm sure there are some people that are always complaining about the government not doing that. And then in the same neighborhood, you have someone going out and fixing the street himself. Like he decided to fix something himself, or a garden. And everybody's looking at him like an idiot. But he's not. He's right. The other people just don't understand that he is the guy that is doing the right things. And if the community would follow his lead, they would change their neighborhood and they would be super successful, touristic, beautiful, and they would improve their livelihood from the bottom up, not waiting for any kind of government to do that for them. So that's, I think, philosophy brings that rebellious mindset and emancipation mindset. Like we need to emancipate ourselves from many things.
So as a technologist or as a DevOps engineer, I'm curious. I want to know how you are being a good integrator between the Fame, developers and also who are completely technology driven people, and also the non-technical people who are farmers and the users. How you are being the great integrator because you have 4,000 users today.
Yeah, it's I think the key is to listen, like empathy, to listen very carefully to what the user says, because developers they check the code, they work on the code, they have their eyes on the code, on the architecture, but they tend to forget the users, and the users have no idea or on the technical side, and they don't have to. So for me, we need to understand that we are here to serve the users. We are here to listen to the users. And all the rest is just a tool to serve the users. Like we should never reverse it. We should never tell the user to do something like this or like that. He should be able to do it like he wants on the solution. And we need to bring the solution as close to his practices, to his habits, to what he likes, rather than having the user adapt to the technology. We need the technology to adapt to the user. So that's something that is very simple, but many people forget it. And they will send you a solution with a book to understand how to use it. So that's not our stuff. The app should be self-explanatory, even though it's difficult. I'm not saying I achieved that, but that's what I try to do. That's what we try to do.
So at last, what do you say about Fame as a CEO and as a founder, as a creator of it, and also as a food security officer, and also as a person who is into philosophy teaching?
Yeah, I think technology helps us to change the world without waiting for governments and big institutions. So we all need to dive into technology to help each other. Like technology that helps us help each other is stronger than anything in the world today. So that's what we try to do.
So about fame, what do you say to the listeners?
Um, Fame, at the beginning, I wanted to do a non-profit, but it's difficult. So I made it a profit one, but we don't make profit anyways. But fame it's just that. It's just technology for the people. That's it. It's just technology for the people, to emancipate the people. Financially, when you use the dollar in a country where the inflation is 30%, you are a rebel. It is a rebellious act, and you are emancipating yourself from your own government. So fame is a global emancipation of farmers, but also of consumers from the big food industry that is just poisoning the people and exploiting the producers. So I think we don't need to live under their dictatorship. We can be free. We just need to come together in one platform. And I think Fame can be this platform. And I'm trying to make it the best platform to bring the people together.
Can you spell fame to my podcast listeners for listening this on audio?
Sorry?
Can you spell fame to my
Spell?
podcast listener? Spell it?
Spell?
Can you spell
Yeah,
it?
yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Fame. Fame, like fame. You know the music? Fame. Fame. On the App Store, I called it AlgoFame. ALGOFAME, because Fame was taken by other stupid games. But Fame or AlgoFame. And anyone can find it. Please join it. And yeah, just DM me, say hi, you will find me. You click on my last post and you just DM. And if you are a producer, I would love to talk to you.
I'll share the web link in the description of this video, also in my website as well. And also I'll put on the screen as well. People who find this video anywhere in the internet can able to see what fame is and how it is helping the farmers and also the users, and since it's global, so anybody from anywhere can able to use it and get benefit out of it.
Yeah, thank you so much. It's really it's amazing that you do that, and that what you do is great, because you also help many founders and many. Yeah, it can be really helpful for young founders, and all the people listening to your channel.
So yeah, that's what my question was. Like, as the founder, as a technology product owner, and also as a person who is into understanding humanity and how technology is helping humanity in different levels today. You as being a CEO of this product, what is your observation about my work? Have you seen any videos of mine on YouTube?
No, I haven't seen, but I've seen the guests that you had. You had great guests, so some of them I really want to listen to. But most importantly, it's not the answers, it's the questions that matters. And that's what we learn in philosophy as well. Like, answers can be found on ChatGPT, but the questions are more difficult to come with. And I like your questions. Like, you have good questions, and I think we need people to ask themselves and others better questions. Because the answers are here, everybody has an answer about anything, but good questions is very difficult to come by. So, and that's a very different thing. I think if you keep asking the best questions, it's way higher than what ChatGPT or humans can give as answers. Because everything starts with a question. The real revolutions and the real outbreak, the real revolutions, like new ideas, new paradigm in philosophy, in science, in life, comes from asking the right question, not from repeating the same answer or even creating a new answer. The questions is the freedom, is the real freedom of mind.
And I did masters in software engineering, also bachelors in computer science and engineering. Right now, I'm working as a cloud DevOps engineer for a London company from India. So that's my full-time role. I'm a pure technologist, a software engineer. So apart from that, I'm interviewing experts like you who are in different industries and who are into different parts of the world and who are working on different products and services and who are into business side of the technology, and also some people are from technology side of the businesses. And also I try to interview experts who are into non-technical field like police officers, doctors, uh, uh, authors, psychologists. So I'm trying to jump out from my my profession and trying to interview and trying to see what is happening in other professions and other industries and other business owners are doing. So how this, as a business owner, how this kind of a podcast or this kind of an interaction or communication or global communication is going to be helpful for me in future in my career or as a human being.
Yeah, I think every field needs many other fields. Like, for example, financial inclusion needs sociology, needs, for example, for my case, agriculture. Like every fields, every company needs multiple skills. And the fact that you interview many people from different backgrounds, from different sciences, you are really providing high value to your listeners and to yourself first, because you are the first listener of this podcast. And I think you will see the progress, the improve. I used to have a podcast as well on Twitter about Web3 for 2 years. We ended up having like thousands of listeners. And I always focused on that, like learning every time. I need to learn something every time I do one. And I need to ask the right question to learn more. And I think you will see yourself improve tremendously from all this variety of people that you bring, like specialists. And you are the first winner because you listen to all of them, and you have to. And it's like a masterclass. You will have. I used to consider my podcast like a masterclass, like a private masterclass from various experts. And I think that what you're doing is exactly that, and it's really the right way to do it. And you will see the improvement. You will gain so many skills all over the board, and you will be able to use them in whatever you want to do in life.
I'll share your podcast link also to my audience so that they can hear and what you said and what your observations are.
Thank you. Yeah. Thank you. That's great.
So, can I put this video on my YouTube channel with your permission?
Yeah, sure. Of course. Yeah, of course.
Also, can I put this audio and video clip on my podcast, website, internet, social media, everywhere with your permission? You
can do whatever you want with it. No problem.
Sure. Thank you, Bilal, again for your valuable time and sharing about your creation and telling about yourself and also sharing your experiences and answering to some of my questions.
Thank you very much for your time, and congratulations for a great podcast. And I will listen to some of them. Send me the link, and I will try to listen to the one you prefer, your favorite podcast, and I will listen to them.
So definitely they will be like you, very curious, the leaders that I interview. Definitely it adds a lot of value to your time, I believe so.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, let's do that. And join the Fame app and try to talk to your local producer.
Definitely. Yeah, awesome. I will share that and I'll talk to you. Sure, awesome. For sure. Thank you very much again.
Thank you very much, my friend. Have a nice day. Bye-bye.
Bye.